Today we welcome Brian Burnett of Preston Athletic Football Club to the non-league radio show. Hello, Brian.
Hiya, Stephen. How are you?
Yeah, not bad. Before we talk about the football club, tell us a little bit about yourself and your involvement with the club.
I'm Brian Burnett. I do the social media and I do a bit of everything really. I mostly do social media, but I do the speaker system at games. I've just had a new system put in, so I do the teams and I help with fundraising and match setup, just about everything really, because we're quite a close-knit committee. So just help out where needed. I was helping the groundsman today because I'm on holiday for work, so I was just putting a couple of new advertising signs up and forking the pitch because we've had quite a lot of rain. So we just all club together. So and that's why I like it so much at the club.
I can see you must have been busy because there's lots of videos going up on social media, which we'll talk about, which are very, very, very good, by the way. But talking about Preston Athletic Football Club, you play at Pennypit Park, Prestonpans. Tell me a bit about the facilities you've got.
So we're an SFA registered, fully licensed club right from the start. They were a founding member of the Lowland League, but they've found themselves falling through the leagues. It's a stand with 315 seats in it. The park can hold officially just now 1,500. I don't know why that's been changed because there has been bigger crowds in. I think it was since COVID, the attendances have all been knocked down. So and we really got tested during COVID in the Scottish Cup when we drew Auckland. We had 900. The council allowed us 900 in Auckland. A big crowd. They brought 500 in through. So that game had to be all ticket. That was quite a big task for us. But it's fully licensed. We've got club rooms. The only drawback is a purpose-built football stadium, and it's got a physio room, a referee's room, and 2 change rooms under the stand. So everything's under the stand. So now that we're finding that obviously women getting integrated into the more and more women coming into the game with the referees and that, we're now having we do get officials, because in our league there isn't you have to request officials. You go up the league, you get linesmen and that in the Premier. So we are finding that when we do get assigned women or other officials, we have to put our physios in with the team, and it gets quite cramped. So that's something as a club we might need to look at as the game evolves and more women coming into the game. So apart from that, so it's a purpose-built football stadium, and adjacent to that there's a purpose-built rugby stadium. So right at the back here with the same facilities as us, bar the club rooms. They don't have a club rooms. They used to, but so we have a club rooms. It holds about 60 people, and it's ideal for what we need for like after games. When the players go in, we can do hospitality from it. We can have meetings and we can rent it out to people who want to use it.
Great stuff. And how many teams are you running at the club?
We run Preston, and we run our development team under 20s. They play on a Friday night at Middleshot AstroTurf, and we try and bring them down to Pennypit we can to keep costs down, because as you know, winter training we're paying AstroTurf 4 nights a week, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. It's cost about £150 every time we train. So we're a small club. We're one of the smallest in the areas, and you can probably reflect that on our budget and that. So, but that's it. And I think a lot of teams are going through that. Is how you pay for under 20s, because we won the league last year. We were under 20s, a really good side. 5 or 6 of them came up through the first team. But it's how you fund them. Like you can't charge people to watch at an AstroTurf. So we're basically the club. You self-fund your under 20s. So we tried a new thing this year to try and get players sponsored at £40, like £40, and that'll help with their kit and that. So we've got a few players sponsored, and that'll help. But we're going to have to look into different things to keep them going, because the way the council have changed it now, you don't pay per hour now, you pay per half an hour. So normally the hour warm-ups now went to 45 minutes, and you get 15 minutes access to the changing rooms as well. So it's just cost. And I think every team's feeling the pinch with the under 20s, but they're great to have, and you have to have them. because it helps with development. And if you're in a boat like us, we're quite a young squad. We've only got about 3 or 4 players over 30, and that is, if you didn't have the under 20s, it would probably wouldn't have half the team that's per pathway.
I was going to say, what sort of squad have you got for the first team? Is it because of what you were saying before, obviously you've got the first team in the development squad. Is there a big squad for the first team?
They probably carry about 16, 17 players, and when we do need them, we have about 3 or 4 players that are nearly breaking into the development team. So when we have 2 or 3 injured, we do use them. They play on a Friday night, but they're quite happy to come and sit on the bench on a Saturday, or some of them might start. So there is a good crossover between us, and I think we have to, because the resources demand it. So and we have a good relationship. The under-20s managers are Stevie Laidlaw. He's been around youth football. He knows the scene. He's assisted by Rory Ferguson. So and they know the scene, and I think you've got to know youth football, especially in this area, because what happened was the under-20s. We had quite the pick of the area. We're one of the first teams to have an under-20s in the area. In the last year, 2 seasons, Trinent have got a 20s Had, and I've got a 20s Dunbar. So it's really squeezing the game, and I think a lot of teams are going younger. Normally under 20s used to be about 18 to 20s. Now you can play them for 16. So it's really developing the players, but sometimes you can see it when, if the under 20s team's really old and you've got some 16s, the young laddies get bullied, and that's if you have a look at the leagues. There is some like hammerings. So I think they need to look at it and maybe grade it on your results, because at the moment it's just conferences that are split into areas. So they try and give you 4 or 5 teams, 4 central teams, 4 East Lothian teams in a league. So we're doing pretty well in the 20s, and it's coming along nicely there.
Spot on. Who's manager of the first team?
We've got, if you've been about Lowland League football, we've got Paul Curry.
Right.
Used to play with Berwick Rangers, used to play with Arbroath, so he's one of the co-managers, but just he didn't want a label on it, so he brought in John Daly, who came from youth football, Tynecastle, and he's a co-manager, and then we brought in another expert. We've got 4 coaches, so we have 2 co-managers, and we have 2 first-team coaches, Rhys Cochran, who's been about youth football, and Craig McManus, who played with Auckland Talbot, Musselburgh Athletic, and he's new to the club. So, but with Paul's experience, and Paul still plays. He's 37-year-old or 38-year-old, and he just is. You can see that he's played at a high level. He played with Arbroath at Parkhead versus Celtic, and the man just, when we play, he's in the squad, and when we don't, and he's missing, we sort of like the cohesion of the young ladies goes a bit missing, because he is the glue, and you can see he's played. He's probably, I think there'll be many folk that disagree, he's probably the best player in the league by a country mile.
When you mentioned the league there, I'm just looking at the league. You're doing quite well, although it is quite tight from about 10th all the way to 3rd.
Aye.
I'm guessing there's 3. I'm just looking. I looked earlier, to be honest. So I know there's 3 promotion, 3 relegation. I'm guessing the aim is to try and get promoted. I don't know what the standard difference is between yours and the league above.
Well, last year the league, the East of Scotland went through quite a big transformation. It was so basically all the East of Scotland members that were original members went into conferences, and all your junior teams, the new teams, were at the bottom. So it was basically, it was 6, and so your top 6 in both conferences created what is now the first division. So, and the bottom 6 created now what is the second division. So you're like your Hoyle, Royal Alberts, your Ormisons, but then the top 6 and our top 6. So we just missed out on promotion last year, and we sort of changed the manager. We just felt that everything had run a bit. It'd been there 5 years. We were a point behind with 4 games in hand, and we lost the week. So we just thought it was a bit of a gamble, and I think it had to happen because there were a few other shift moving plates, and so we played. So this year it's the top 6 each team, and there's not really. Dunbar came down from the top, and they've got fantastic facilities. They get backed by their their community really well. They've got a new stand, 160 seats. They've got sponsored at £100 a seat. So they probably came down, and they were probably favourites for the league. They've got a really good squad, good experience. So it was, and then the likes of Glenrothes, who missed it in our league last year by a point as well, 2 points. It's a really hard league. Every game you'll probably see it.
I can see that. Yeah.
We went to Canoe 1-3. It's been a bit up and down. We went to Canoe 1-3 now, who are going well themselves. Then we went to play Burnett at home. It's probably our home form. It's not really that great. And we got beat 5-1 with them. Then we're going to get a great result against Dunbar. It's been up and down, but it's a really, really tough league. Anybody can beat anybody on their day. We went to Kirkcaldy, got beat up there, but it's really tough. And the new managers. We didn't really. We made the change probably too late. We decided it, and then we were like had about 3 or 4 meetings, and then we said, right, we better back ourselves. We're saying we've done it, so we made the change. And by that time, a lot of teams signed early last year. There was a lot of teams probably start getting ready now. Even though they shouldn't, because teams, the way the contracts work, it's 1 year, and you can start speaking to somebody in January or then. So because effectively it's 1 year contract, again, or 1 year. Even so, some clubs they get paid just still on a 1 year amateur for them.
Yeah. So some of the players paid, obviously. I'm guessing, or
the expenses, yeah.
Yes.
Expenses,
yeah.
So
sorry, I'm going back to the league again because I've got it in front of us here. Obviously, there's a lot of games to get through. You've luckily managed to play 16 games. Some of the other teams, I'm guessing, due to the weather, are going to struggle to get the games in, or they're going to be playing 3 games a week. The way it's looking.
Aye.
So you might have an advantage that you've managed to get ahead.
Yeah, we've done pretty well even with the grass pitch, but we invested a lot in the grass pitch, but even that's had to be put back a bit, because even just to get somebody in for like 6 months' work, like with the area and the air and it and spike, and you're talking over $2,000 just for 4 or 5 months of the year, and it's quite a big expense going out, especially when because we loan the facilities. It's called the Pennypit Trust, so we give them rent to have our stadium, but there's only one team plays in it and all of that. So yeah, when we get our licensing money, some of that goes towards that. And we've done a lot with the park, and for it being a grass park, it's really held up quite well this year. So and there's a few AstroTurf pitches and chucked in there. I think Dunedin's playing AstroTurf, Rosyth playing AstroTurf, but obviously Dunbar's probably the lot because we're near the coast. Dunbar's a different weather system. We were down there last week. I've been absolutely hammering it with rain, and went down to Dunbar, and you wouldn't think it was raining because it's on the coast. So we got beat 1-0 down there. We've been nearly nicked a point at the end. We hit the post. So it's up and down. We've got a really good game on Saturday against Leith. They play at the new Meadowbank, Edinburgh City.
Yeah,
they ground share with them. We were up there in December. And I heard bad reviews about the facilities, but I actually thought it was quite. So
So what's your sort of average fan base on a game day?
This is where we need promotion, because we've played 2-3 local teams in the cup. So we played Musselburgh in the cup. The crowds were 250, 255. We played Dunbar, another local team, 217, 218. But when you play the 5 teams, we're dropping down to about an average of 100. So, because the 5 teams, and probably, to be fair, we probably take about 20 people away. We're not that big a club away. We are growing bigger because we started season tickets this year with just because the committee's that wee and small. It's just another task get kicked in the road. So I introduced a season ticket package. So we dressed it up like members get entrance to the Player of the Year awards. They get like half price entry for other people during the season. We've done that a couple of times this year, and just other stuff like that. So we went from one season ticket to 40 season tickets. So I know it's not much, but it's £70 for the year. So and that's not including cup. That's just the leagues, but that works out at less than £4 a game. So and then we had the disappointing result in the Scottish. We got beat by Newton Stewart, but we were missing about 5 or 6 first-team players, but that was a really kick in the teeth. So, we got beat 1-0 with them, but we've been averaging about 100, but as you see, we've got about 150 against Newton Grange, who are another big club for the division. There's quite a lot of big clubs for the division. But when we get to the Premier League's obviously your Linlithgow Roses, your Musselburghs, your Pennycooks, like not Camelon, like Inverkeithing Hill Swifts, Dundonald, who else is up there? Your Broxburns and all that. They all take like over 100 away fans, and Linlithgow Roses have the same with Musselburgh. Musselburgh had a big singing section and everything down at our ground. Ken, they've got nearly all the clubs in that league have got wee singing sections, and like Trinent but then if Trinent are at home, but they don't get much passing support from them. But Trinent, just about 2 miles up the road, their average is 600 now. In the Lowland League, near the top of the league, they're getting 600 people. So we've always been sort of, and the rugby doesn't help. The rugby, quite funny, the rugby's in the second division in Prestonpans, so it's like quite high standard of rugby. Their stands, every time they play, they're full. So it is quite frustrating at times. Sometimes you feel like you're back. That's why I've got a thing I say that when I turn on the social media, that the more content you can get out there, the more it's better, that people are seeing the club more. I know that I'm quite busy on social media, but I feel like you have to be, because if you only put one post out a week, and people are there going to, they're playing them this weekend. But if you can build that up, sometimes we get the captains, like a message to captain and how to try and get a message, like a wee short clip wishing the fans Happy New Year and telling them how the season's gone, stuff like that, and just getting the managers to speak. It just makes, I think it makes more people aware, and the more people read about the club, the more they might want to come down.
Definitely.
So we do.
I was going to say definitely, because when I started this radio show, I didn't realise how good people were on social media for the football clubs, and I can see it down here that there's people like yourself. They're putting goals when the goals are scored. If the player's sponsored by somebody, they're doing updates as the game's going on, and it's interesting. You know, it's good that if people can't get to the game and they want to find out what's going on. And you, it's Preston Athletic on Twitter. If people want to go and check that out, please. Brian's putting loads of stuff on as well about sponsors, things they get involved, taking you on a tour around the ground, and I think it's great, to be honest, because I would never have seen any of those facilities, and now I know what they look like. So if you want to tell a little bit about things you're looking for, sponsorships and things like that, just go for it, Brian. It's fine.
Yeah, but we have a lot of companies like the sponsorship, the board around the ground. I think they cost about £250, but they don't just get the board, but I think they get hospitality for 2 or 3 people. So like they'll get 5 or 6 drinks with just cans. It's better than nothing. So it's 5 or 6 drinks. They'll get sandwiches. They'll get a pie at half time, and they'll get maybe do this man of match award. We do £100 player sponsors. And that again entails hospitality for the year. And when your player scores, there's a graphic that goes up when your player scores. Well, I try to remember to do it all the time. Sometimes, and we just invested in that. Was a quite big outlay for the club as well. We invested in a VO camera.
Yeah.
Because the more the younger the managers coming up now, they seem to be more invested in. Like your old school manager probably wasn't like looking at stats and that, but we had a young manager who came with Paul, but he's been recently recruited to go to Australia to do an Australian football academy team. So he just left, but he was big on stats, and he asked the club to invest in a VO camera. So he used to watch it every morning. I would send him, or he would send me the footage, and he used to watch it every morning. And I think that's coming in. A lot of teams in Scotland non-league have the VO camera, but they're expensive outlays as well, because you're £1,000 for the camera, But it might have come down cheaper now. We bought ours during when there was nobody there, so we felt that we had to do highlights. So and then that's a monthly membership as well. So you're paying £30 a month or whatever the monthly subscription is. But they're great machines. You just basically, I don't know if you've seen the VO camera.
Yeah, I was going to get one, and I know how I was going to get one and go out and record matches and put highlights, and then I found out how expensive they are. They are expensive to run.
Yeah, but there's some teams that come with a man. I think Danny Pace came with a boy we're gone with the camera, and he's freezing, and we just plug the video camera in, and you just leave it with the phone next to it. They're incredible machines. Because I can go into it at night, or Leslie, another person does the VO, the secretary. You can just go in at night, download it, and then just type it, just click go, and I'll put into a video editor, and we just clip up the goals. So that's another. People don't realise how much all this stuff is. You want to improve the club, but it's money. So the goal is, I don't think. This season it was a bit of free hit. We had a big turnaround in players, 3 or 4. That was the problem with you just missed promotion. Your players have really wanted to, but 3 or 4 players went to Matty O'Connor, was centre half. He went to Musselburgh. Were striker and were other centre half last year. The ever present, they went up to the Lothian Thistle, up to Vale. We lost 3 or 4 players and we had to replace them. And we've replaced them quite well, to be fair. We went into the amateur leagues and got the amateur league up here is pretty decent in Edinburgh. We took teams like Tollcross and Sandys and that. So we looked at a few of their teams and got our centre half, Jack McKinnon. So we're quite young. We signed Ben Ryle from Musselburgh. He's been brilliant, a fullback. He's only like 19. We've got a young striker who scored goals for the under-20s, Cammy Lado, is 19. Our goalkeeper's 20. I think the oldest player in the back four is 32, 33, and that's Craig Innes. He might shoot me, I might have got his age wrong. We're centre halves. Jordan Keenan, he came for the under-20s last year. Mark Forsyth, he's probably 22. We are really young, but it is a joy to watch them. See when they're playing good football, and it's really good, and I really enjoy it. I've got a 4-year-old daughter, and she goes with me, and it's a really close-knit community club.
And I'm looking down your Twitter here. There's still games available to sponsor. Well, there was as of the 4th of Jan. And match ball sponsors as well.
Yeah, there's 2 games, Caneland, and I think it's Burnt Island, 15th and 29th of April. So even the match day sponsor, we're probably, if we're honest, we're probably too cheap for what we give if you look at the other teams. But you have to be that cheap because this is probably the first year that we've had so many filled. Yeah. We have got a new vice president. He's brought a few teams in to get them, but it's £100 at the end of the day. You can't be. We probably are too cheap, but if you're not getting them filled, what's the point of being too dear and not getting them filled? So we've been quite lucky in getting them filled, and you get a foot. So if you're sponsoring the game, see you have a window cleaning business. So right after the game on a Saturday, you're window cleaning. Right next week we welcome Leaf Athletic to the Pennypit, and your company logo will be on the pitch on the match day poster, and even. If I'll go through into their Facebook page and I'll share a few of what they've done, what jobs they've done, and say, look at this, folks. Ken, it's just stuff like that. And if they've only got 200 or 300 people looking at their pages, and we've got 2,000 people on Twitter, and we've got about 2,000 people or 3,000 people on Facebook, that's 5,000 people for a week. They're getting people looking at their stuff. So for £100, and they get 4 people for I think it's 4 drinks and a pie and a tray of sandwiches. So you're getting advertised to 5,000 people, 4 drinks and a game of football, which is £7 to get in normally. So it's a not, and we are obviously we make money off it because that's the aim of the game. But even at £100 for what you get, I feel it's brilliant value.
Oh, it is definitely. Well, before we go, obviously this Saturday, I haven't told you yet, but I'm going to feature your Preston Athletic Football Club on the website as the team of the week. So keep us up to date with the goals going in if you can on Saturday.
Yeah, I will do. And I'll send you the video as well. I'll send you the
I'll tweet. I'll shout it because I go live on Saturday 3:00. So I'll be playing this interview again. So it'll sound funny because people will be listening. But we'll be live now, so I'll be shouting the goals out as they're going in. So you're playing Leith on Saturday. I'm guessing that's going to be a tough game. It's not too much distance between you and the table.
No, we just played them in December, actually, up at the bank. It was 2-2. So the first 30 minutes of the game, Leith were all over us. Could have been about, if I'm honest, could have been about 3 or 4-0 Leith. After the 30 minutes, they scored a good goal, 1-0. But after 30 minutes, something just clicked. The young laddies started knowing that we could get the ball down on the big AstroTurf. It's a big, wide open, brand new AstroTurf. The young laddies started playing quite well. We scored just before half time. Probably half time came at the wrong time for us. But second half, we played really well. And then up to the 85th minute, then just that, when you're only one goal up, we missed a couple of chances. And you're only one goal up, the last 5 minutes becomes a bit of a lottery. So there was just a swirling ball came in, and probably the young keeper, probably Kenzie Sell, don't mind me saying it, came for a ball that he probably shouldn't have came for, and it swirled over him and they've tapped it in the net. So yeah, it was it felt like a defeat, but in the end, if somebody says we're going to take a point before the game, I probably would have took it. So we always have close games with Leith Athletic. They've got a good squad as well as us. We've got a bit of mixture of youth, because they rely on their 20s as well, and they've got a bit of experience with boys like Craig Hume, Kane Patterson, they played with Burnett. So it's a really good game, and the Leith are quite a big club themselves. So everybody, you could probably say if you're about, no disrespect to Kennaway or Burnt Island or Coldstream or Rosyth, but anybody that's probably in that top 7, you can make a case for them all being in the Premier League and all the facilities as well. Glenrothes have got fantastic facilities. It's one big stand, but they've got the grass verges, like yourself. But in the stand, they've got the big social club. Within the stand, it's huge. So in Dunbar, if you ever get a chance to go to Dunbar, they've got great facilities. They have a good relationship with the Hall Hill complex. Newton Grange as well got a big social. We're probably the only team, bar a couple, that have not got a big social club behind them. Newton Grange. They've junior folklore. They came across a big team, so they played us at the Pennypit. Probably beat us 4-1 down there. We didn't have a great game that game, but Nitton came with. They play with their front three quite high. They've got a tall boy in the middle and the 2 old-fashioned wingers, and they play their strengths quite well. We probably didn't deal with it as well as we should have. But it's really big clubs, all with great facilities, for maybe 1 or 2 who just play in AstroTurfs. But it's a really hard league. So, but this is probably where, if we're honest, probably where we are at this moment in time. And I think if you come speak to you again next year, I think our aspirations will be definitely to try and get promotion. Promotion would be nice this year. But given what happened in the summer, a couple of changing manager, this year was just about sustaining, changing the club and trying to bring in new revenue sources, which is what we're always, that is a struggle. If we can get more fans coming through the gate, and we do the £10 ticket as well. I don't know if you've seen that. So it's £7 normally to get in, but we brought in a £10 ticket so you can get a pie and a beer. So you just come to the gate and say you want a £10 ticket. It's done reasonably well. So we have the more content we've had. A ground hopper called Alba Wades. He sponsored the Scottish Cup game, and we've got another ground hopper who enjoyed his experience and thought he would come back. He's sponsoring the game on Saturday, actually. Terrace Trails. He's a quite up and coming ground hopper up this way anyway. He's sponsoring the game. So it's working well. If we can just keep carrying on, we're for them and see where it takes us.
No, good stuff. Well, it's been great. It's been great talking to you, Brian. Don't go anywhere though, because I'll have to chat with you before. But if there's anything else you want to give a quick shout out, please do.
Just the obviously we went through the coaching, but just the the people in the background. Donald, our chairman, he's been at Preston since 2017. He started off as a parent, and his laddie his boy used to play for the club, and then he's turned into next year as the chairman of the club. I think that when they came out of the Lowland League, the club fell into a bit of disarray. People left, and I think there's the absolute rock of the club, as our secretary Leslie Burrell. She came in 2016, and she's sort of the manager of the mob. She keeps us, like, she does all the money, and she help basically. If it wasn't for her, it'd probably we'd be toiling. She does all the playing, all the contracts, and all the interactions with other teams, and she does all the money side and that. And we've got a new vice chairman, Laird Gilfillan, who's just new to the club. He's been around in the background, like watching the club and just seeing how we were running that for a couple of seasons now. His boy plays with under-20s. He's in and around the first team, Murray Gilfillan. So and I've been there 2.5 years. So, and I'm really enjoying it. And they let me, like, if I put ideas in, and they generally do listen. If it wasn't my ideas when they're getting put across, and sometimes it can be frustrating, but every idea they listen, and then we play about them. So it's been really good. We've got speakers do coming up on the 2nd of April. It's got Chip Young and John Robotham, the old journalist and referee, coming up, and we've already sold 10 tables out of 12 for that. So that's a good money, and a £30 a ticket with a 2-course meal. So just stuff like that. Just try to keep the fundraisers ticking. We're trying to have 2 or 3 a year. We have race nights, and we even had I play bowls, so we even had a bowling day. Just with like some players, and they played with friends, and just stuff like that. If it's £10 an entry, and if you speak to the bowling club are quite good to us. It's just that you've got to think of the box, because you see after time, the people are doing the same. Ormston race night, Burnett race night, Preston race night. People only got to keep going to race nights. We're only like 5 miles apart from each other. So I just try to generally think of the box. So we had the bowls, so the bowling club made money with the bar, and they told us we could get all the entry money. So basically, we had all the entry money, and we gave the winners season tickets. So we didn't really. It's like fundraisers like that. So if you ever come up with a good fundraiser, just message me.
No, good stuff. Well, many thanks again, Brian, and we'll speak to you. Well, I'll keep in touch with you, obviously, on social media, but we'll speak again next season as well and see how we're getting on.
No problem. Thanks for having us on. Much appreciated.
No problem.